The world of careers has exploded beyond our wildest dreams. There are nanotechnologists, virtual reality and game designers, renewable energy specialists, food technologists, social media influencers, YouTubers, bloggers, sports consultants, big data analytics. The list is endless. And this endless list actually ends up being very confusing, both for parents and students, in trying to decide the best career option for the child. As a certified global career counselor from UCLA and a Gallup coach, I have devised a module to help students identify their career path. We explored various career options and then identified the students' strengths and matched their passion and skills to arrive at the right career choice. We then help the students choose the right courses and provide them with the prerequisites for admission and help them get admission into the best colleges in India and abroad. Welcome to KYC or Know Your College by ASPIYER Career Advisory. As a career guidance expert, our objective is to provide ample information to students so that they can make the right career and higher education choices. Students come to us sometimes very confused about which is the right college to choose or which is the right course to choose. And hence we have this informational series, KYC or Know Your College, to talk to different colleges so that we get a clearer idea on the courses that they offer, the selection criteria, and the admission procedure. Joining us today is Mrs. Anju Deoskar, who is the Associate Director Admissions Outreach at Flame University. Now, Flame University is one of the pioneers of liberal education in India and is a hub for rigorous and diverse course offerings, both at the undergraduate and postgraduate level. Their system of instruction transcends the divisions between science, arts, and commerce and urges students to engage with multiple disciplines. So a very warm welcome to you, Anju, and thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Thank you so much. I hope you're good.
Yes, absolutely fine. So can you tell us a little bit about what liberal education really means?
Absolutely. So first of all, again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to connect with all your lovely followers, students, parents, maybe some schools as well. So it's just very, very unfortunate that people think that liberal arts education is something which is very liberal in terms of the literal meaning that it might be a very easy combination. It's more to do with arts and humanities. So, well, I will bust the myth once I make my presentation on the courses that we offer. Liberal arts education offers a very, very expansive intellectual grounding in all kinds of humanistic inquiries. It's very interdisciplinary in nature. Liberal arts education gives you opportunity to explore issues and ideas across humanities, arts, natural and physical sciences, social studies, global studies. And why do we do that? I mean, one would think that, okay, fine, in a conventional undergrad, you do a bachelor's of arts, bachelor of commerce, and from day one, you study those particular subjects, what you've selected or chosen to study in those courses. But when you study very broadly, in terms of exploring these options of interdisciplinary in simple senses, doing various subject knowledge, right? So by doing this, I think students essentially develop a very, very important skill of reading critically, writing cogently, and thinking very broadly. And these skills further, elevate your conversations in a classroom. They strengthen your social and cultural analysis. They further cultivate, I think, the tools which are very, very necessary for you to develop to be able to navigate into the most complex issues around the world in the real world. And, if I'm to just compare the conventional education versus a liberal education again, I would just emphasize that in conventional education, what happened was, depending on the disciplines that you selected, you studied those, and in terms of your own development, either you nurtured and stimulated the right side of your brain or the left side of the brain, depending on what subjects you studied, right? Yeah. And liberal arts education is about developing both the sides of the brain. So if you see the last few decades, people have gone through conventional education, but they had to build a lot of other competencies and reskill themselves in order to survive. They needed a lot of industry training before they could start to even work. The company spent a lot of money spending on the training to get them going in a particular field, which supposedly they were supposed to learn and come to
Absolutely.
the
Those graduates, they say, are not sometimes directly employable also, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is the time I think people really started to realize that education needs to focus on developing both the sides of the brain, and how I mean, realization came in, and that's when people brought the context into the reality where the world is not compartmentalized. So why are we compartmentalizing the acquiring the knowledge when students acquire knowledge? And this is really when liberal education really started to seem the right fit. So now I think whether you talk about the Fortune 500s to a chai wala, everybody's in a startup mode. And what is making one person be successful even post COVID is their capability of quickly changing and innovating things, for which you need a entrepreneurial mindset. And for again entrepreneurial mindset, I think you need liberal and transdisciplinary thinking. You should be able to gauge a situation, do your research, find a solution to it. How does that happen? If you're just trained in one particular stream of subject, you'll never be able to kind of
So I think this
overcome.
would be like the biggest benefit of doing a liberal arts degree. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Pooja, I'll just give you a little brief, which I specially because you told me people wanted to know about liberal education. So I'll just read out a paragraph for you.
Sure.
So, during the era of classic antiquity, liberal arts was considered essential education for free individuals active in civic life. Okay, at that time, people who participated in public debates, defended themselves, or served in courts, or were on juries, or performed military services. So, why these important positions? Because these are the people who we didn't want them as experts in one particular field. We wanted these people to know overall aspect of everything that happens in a society, in a country. And at that time, liberal arts education covered three subjects, which was grammar, rhetoric, and logic. Later on in the medieval times, arithmetic, geometry, music, astronomy added. If you talk of liberal education today, in modern context, there are so many subjects. I think there's a broad scope of category of subjects that a typical liberal arts university or a liberal arts degree program offers. I think even at this age, we are so confused. We want to explore, find, and then make a decision. But the problem with the conventional education system is that the moment the child is 17, he or she has to choose that, okay, hey boss, I'm going to do this. Or sometimes, very unfortunate, they don't even get to choose, the parents tell. Okay. So the idea is to all the listeners, probably please allow your child to explore, give them scope, and I will request all of you to please go on to the Flame University website, go on to the alumni link, see what those children are doing. I mean, these were the same children and parents who came in, who had a big question mark, liberal arts, acha, aap to, itne sare subject कराओगे, पर वो,
we want to specialize in
so many questions.
Yeah. Sometimes parents are also kind of concerned, right? What are the job prospects? What are the career prospects? So, which is why we said, okay, let's actually talk to someone who's an expert in the field, so you'll be able to share your insights. And so if we were to look, so you offer multiple course combinations. How does it work? Can you tell us a little bit about the actual process?
So I'm just quickly going to share a presentation, which where I'm just going to emphasize on the major minor combinations that we have. So if you see the kind of skill sets which the employers are seeking in this current situation, I think these are the things which pay more emphasis on when I'm looking at employing somebody, rather than focusing on, hey, what degree and where have you done from? The employer wants to know, what can you do for me?
True.
right?
Even when top colleges are looking at admitting students in, they are looking at way beyond just an academic qualification, right? Or what is it that you have? It's not just academic scores that suffice. They want well-rounded individuals coming in.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So again, the crux of the whole thing is that any higher education organization which is investing and committed towards educating and bringing these young citizens in a country, I think they have to focus on these skills.
Yeah.
I think today, strong work ethics. People are talking about that when a student finishes the school, college, they find a job. That's all everybody's talking about. I think the more emphasis, somebody is not, you can't leave in ambiguity, okay, they learn their values. Somebody's got to actually teach them. So we're talking about a moral economic woman, a moral economic man. So who teaches them? So these are the certain things that, a program must encompass in a curriculum, so that we develop a very holistic approach towards education. A liberal arts education is, you have an option of finishing, originally the liberal arts education is a 4-year program, but under UGC, we are allowed only to have an undergrad program for 3 years. So at Flame, we have the 4th year, we call the scholars program. And but you have a out in 3 years. I mean, you can finish your 3 years undergrad and leave, and you may do an internship, take a job, do your masters anywhere. All those are options, and we have career advisors in college to guide that. Now, the first year you're going to explore on certain core foundation core subjects, and then you will have certain subjects. If you're doing BA, you have to have a major, you have to have a minor. There is a plethora of subjects that you can study. I mean, subjects which we never thought were subjects when we were properly studying. So you can do a bachelor's of arts taking major, minor. You can do bachelor's of arts honors in economics. BSc major with applied mathematics. Similarly, this year we're offering computer science, and computer science as a liberal art university is going to be a completely different experience, because today we will be talking about the other day human to human interaction in this machine age. While you're master in machine, you cannot, machine will never take over the human. You must have certain sort of, again, breadth of knowledge in terms of what's happening around, rather than just being an expert in one particular area.
A new term that they also talk about now is being techno-dexterous. Okay, like how you
Yes,
talk about
absolutely.
because you have the need of technology in any field or any domain has greatly increased over the last few years.
Absolutely, right? And that's why I'll just come to the next slide, where we tell you that digital literacy is part of, even if you're doing psychology, journalism, literary and cultural studies, you will have those skill sets, right?
Yeah.
And of course, we are one of the only universities in liberal education who offer design. We offer, all the business administration as well. And so this is the basic structure, where the first year you do the foundation course, the breadth, the horizontal of the T that we were talking about. So here you study subjects like academic writing, critical reasoning, public speaking, digital literacy, introduction to applied ethics, environmental studies. This is something that you have to do, irrespective if you want to major in computer science. Now, talking about the universes of knowledge, so these are the 5 criteria which I've earlier explained, that in modern day liberal arts education offers you a plethora of subjects, and they basically come into 5 categories. We call them as the universes of knowledge. So in the first year, you'll do 2 courses of each category, and so this is your exploration. So in these 2, now these are just a few that I've listed. They offer maybe 20-30 more in each category. They're just a few examples I've given. So I could probably study genetics and quantitative methods with sculpture exploration in material, contemporary dance, take Sanskrit and Mandarin, learn about advertising and gender sexuality, study modern history. Can you imagine? And now the good part is, this is the what you're going to study. The better part is how you're going to study. So the study, the pedagogy is that, the professors introduce the concept, the students research, come back, they collect information, they synthesize, they make meaning, they apply, and then they produce their work. So the process is something which is so important. The end result is a byproduct. You are definitely going to do good, Pooja. We have no doubt.
Application-based learning, right?
Absolutely. I mean, what good is it? Like, I've got 95% marks, but if you give me I've studied calculus, I got great marks, but you tell me to apply in real life, I don't know where it's applied. How, it's ridiculous that why are we even studying those subjects for that matter, Going further, something which is very, very unique to Flame is their 3 experiential learning components.
Okay.
Discover India program, I would request, I'll share the links with Pooja and you can just go and see some students' work. This is basically students in a group of 15 to 20 or 10 to 15, they form small groups and they do research and explore onto very less research topics in India. So like the name suggests, Discover India program, I think we are one country, we are most diverse nation in the whole world. Okay. I mean, if you ask me, I don't know 1,000 things about my own country because there's so much to learn. So here students, they go research, do the field research, they, come back and present maybe, 3,000, 4,000 to 10,000 word summary report they submit. They make documentaries on it. So it's a real hands-on experience into what they were studying in those 5 universes and the core components. Going further in developmental activity program, if you see our vision and of Flame, Ahimsa is something which is we really follow. So while that's just a very core what do you say, an attribute. It's a core attribute. But how about developing certain programs embedded where the students kind of have a first-hand experience? So here students must work with some NGOs to actually, this is again, it's two-way thing. One is for them to be aware. Second is, making our children more sensitive. They're blessed to have been born in families where parents can afford the kind of education and experiences they're having. But what about, there's so many people who are deprived. And the third component is, for the very reason why they came to our college. They've obviously, once we're talking about making them into economically, relevant young men and women. But of course, moral has been taken care in the other 2 aspects. Here they have these corporate internships. And we have a complete, office where the students do these kind of things. In fact, you'll be surprised, all our students, even in the pandemic, are doing internships.
So, I'd like to know, so since you're like a global university, what are the kind of connections you have with universities across the world?
So, it's a very, very interesting opportunity that the students at Flame get. We have a tie-up with more than 20 universities overseas. I won't read out the names. They're pretty much visible on the screen, and there are lots more. So what happens is there's a particular selection process for the students where you have to apply, and once you're shortlisted, of course, you have to pick your university. And so you spend 6 months in that particular university without paying a single rupee extra as a tuition fee. Of course, the students will bear the cost of their travel and food there. I think most of the universities also do offer residences. Those who don't, in those ones you'll have to bear the cost of your stay as well.
Okay.
But it's a fabulous opportunity.
That's fantastic. You're saying whatever fees they're paying towards the
absolutely. So I'm going to come to the fee structure as well. For example, X amount of tuition fee that you pay to us, and if you're selected with the Global Connect opportunities and you've been accepted by the university, you go and study there for 6 months while you pay Flame University the Flame fee. That's our tie-up with these universities. And with 20 universities. So there are lots and lots of students who go there. And similarly, we also host students from these university on our campus. So it's like, a very different perspective that comes to a classroom. And yeah, it's a great
And an
opportunity
exchange program like this adds a lot of learning value to the students, right? Both in terms of them getting to go and experience something different and students coming in from abroad too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Super. So,
So, yeah.
what about the actual admission process to get into Flame itself? Do you all have an entrance exam? Is there like criteria that you're looking at?
I'll just quickly take you through certain pictures which will give you a little idea of where we are, state of the arts academic spaces, expansive library, various studios in which are used for different kind of disciplinary studies. These are the open amphitheaters we have. This is a student housing, so it's actually quite resortish. I mean, I was talking to somebody and says, who builds a campus in a valley in 60 acres? So it was very interesting to see, students and parents who find it so amazing. So yeah, coming to the admission process, we accept the SATs or ACTs. Okay. However, if one has not taken, no worries. We have similar aptitude test that we conduct at Flame. You can take that aptitude test. Okay. After which we give you, we also assess you on your essay and personal interview and your past records from grade 9, 10, 11, 12, your academic record, your other achievements. So if we are offering a holistic education, we're also please students looking at a holistic selection criteria. So it's not that we're going to just see that, okay, fine, if you don't have 90% or 85%, you can't come in. Here, Pooja, we have early applications. In October, we start accepting the application, and in December, we conduct our first cycle. We give early offers. Okay. And this is based on your previous academic achievement. And then you have to submit your grade 12 once, before you join the campus. And we totally believe, I mean, somebody who's got an X kind of marks in 9, 10th, 11th, 12th won't be like a drastic change, like, so you see the consistency as well. So that's good enough for us. In fact, we are very, very mindful of giving merit scholarship to students, and you'd be surprised about 20-25% of our students are offered merit scholarship. And the best part is you don't have to apply for it. Okay, we see that, absolutely. So when the admission team goes through your the results and everything, you would be put in a certain section, and if you're a deserving candidate, we are going to offer you merit scholarship. However, need-based scholarship is something you can apply for. You may not, if you're not getting the merit scholarship, you can apply for need-based, where again, of course, for that purpose, we do ask you for certain records because it's a need-based, and we want to be sure that we're giving the scholarship to the right candidate. Correct. And to apply, you can go on to the link which is here, apply.flame@edu.in. Okay. And
do you also have a sports-based scholarship?
Yes, like I said, in all the fields, it could be sports. Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So your merit covers.
However, there I would just add one line that since it's a rigorous program, liberal arts at Flame is a rigorous program. It's very engaging because everything is research based. And here I also tell students, it's easier to mug up a textbook and write if that's my whole course. But here you are engaged in research present throughout the year. So and like we said, it's a process driven education. So it's not like pure saal masti ke and last mein 2 weeks or 1 month padha and you kind of get something. If that is your attitude, please do not apply. We want children who are committed. We don't want geniuses, but we want committed individuals who want to grow. Yeah,
and learning is a continuous process, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to be studying at the end towards the exams, and it's just mugging, like you said. So
absolutely.
You have to dive and absorb that knowledge. It has to happen over a period of time.
Yes, and you know what? There's a lot of questions which come to us saying, what are the careers after you finish your liberal education? And we have some very senior people from Stanford and various other universities. Our professors, 79% professors are PhDs, and out of that 80% are PhDs from overseas. So the amount of personal mentoring and guidance the students get, and that changes their vision. So while we know that these kids will be employers' choice, but the idea here is, please do not get fixated with one sort of career. Please explore. So yes, I mean, jobs are no dearth for students who are studying liberal arts education. In fact, jobs emerge, the careers emerge after if you've done your academics well.
So, could you share a little about the fee structure at Flame?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So if you see this screen here, the program fee is 5,95,000.
Okay.
The program fee includes all your academic resources, your academic support, all of that. 165 is your boarding and lodging, and 50,000 is various other components. And so total it's about 8,10,000 is the annual fee. And of course, like I said, partial and full merit based scholarship is something that you can apply. And yes. Now, the interesting thing is that I want to share is we also do this program. So for this year, we've closed the program, the summer immersion admissions. But students of grade 10, 11, 12, current, like in now, please explore. It's a very, very interesting small module. This is what I'm sharing for this year. Okay. But this year, obviously, due to pandemic, we didn't have the summer immersion on campus.
And this is normally an on-campus program that you're offering.
It's on campus. So we didn't have this, but similar kind of a thing we'll have for 2021, for which, Pooja, I could share some details with you later on, definitely. And when the students come here, so summer immersion is about, exploring all the breadth, studying different subjects. I can tell you from we did online summer immersion, this time. And this student, she says, because of there was some study on, I think, visualizing data or something like that. She was so scared of, she was sure that she will have nothing to do in her life with computers. Yeah. She has gone so motivated, she might actually land up studying computer science in her college next year. Okay, so I mean, this is real explore. Explore is not what is already tried, tested. You have to try, you have to test. And that's what you do in the first year of liberal arts education. And you can get a mini sample of this by doing summer immersion program.
As a career advisor to Anju, when I work with students, I always tell them that besides just looking at the name of a particular thing, like we just say, big data, data analytics, it may seem a bit overwhelming, but unless and until you immerse yourself into it, try working with it, do a small project, experiment with it, that's when you really understand how well suited you are to it or interesting it could be for you.
Yeah, so for example, student who studied economics doesn't know much about behavioral economics. They don't connect like computing and visualizing data for economics. Like every single decision I make, my behavior has an economic impact on my life. Whether you plan to take a drive, you spend that money, you spend that time. So it has changed everything. It's gone fast. So, it's very interesting and deep. So you'll get to know, right now you've studied the definitions in subjects. Now you will live those subjects. That's the basic difference. So I would, because the students are so engaged and they become so invested in their learning, I think more than 65 to 70% of our undergraduate students go for their masters, their post-graduation, and they've been to the best in the world in Ivy League. They've gone to Oxford, Stanford, Harvard. You can just check onto the website. There's a whole lot of information available there. Some of them choose to work and then take a break of a year and then go back to pursuing their education. And some of them have started their own ventures because we have the entrepreneurship lab, investment lab. So, it gives them, like, some people are really, have that aptitude to do that. So I can't really tell you in in such a short time, but yes, We have placements, career counseling and placements in the college, and students are placed through those agencies. The ones who are interested, they've been into the IT, the law, the consultant firms, various companies.
Super. Okay. So thank you so much, Anju, for being on our show today and sharing all this valuable information with us. I think for a lot of parents, sometimes they're a little uncertain what a liberal arts education or a degree in that could really lead up to. But I think what we've discussed today will really give them a much clearer idea. So thank you so much once again for your time.
My pleasure, Pooja, and I wish all the students, parents, all the very best. And I hope they're able to explore and find the right campus, the right course by following the right processes. So all the best to all of you. Thank you so much.
So our objective at Aspire Career Advisory is to enable students to understand and discover more about their skills, their personality, their aptitudes, and how to match those with the right career and higher education choices. If you are someone who is confused about what to do going ahead, do reach out to us at the details given below, and we will help you find your right career path. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel Aspire, as we will be bringing you interviews from many colleges in our KYC or Know Your College series in the following weeks.